Hey guys, welcome back. I've got 5 Am I the Arsehole stories for you today, and this first one's a great place to start. Wedding drama, family chaos, and a twist that genuinely made me sit back when I read it. So, let's get straight into it. Am I the arsehole for exposing my sister's fake infertility story with my ultrasound after she announced her pregnancy at my wedding and my mum gave her my toast? My sister stood up during my wedding reception and announced she's pregnant, and my mum immediately grabbed the microphone from the DJ to make a toast about becoming a grandmother instead of saying one word about me or my husband. I watched my mum's hand shake as she held that microphone, tears running down her face while she talked about how this was the best day of her life because she was finally going to be a grandma. My sister just sat there smiling at her table, one hand on her stomach, even though she couldn't be more than 6 weeks along. The whole room went silent. My husband grabbed my hand under the table and I could feel how hard he was squeezing. My maid of honour tried to get the mic back, but my mum literally turned her back on her. She went on for almost 5 minutes about baby names and how she always dreamt of this moment, and how my sister was giving her the greatest gift. She didn't say my name once, not once during my own wedding reception. When she finally finished, everyone did this awkward half clap, and my sister got up and hugged her. I just sat there in my wedding dress, watching my whole family crowd around her table to congratulate her. My aunt even brought her a glass of water and made sure she was sitting down okay. My husband asked if I wanted to leave. I told him no, we paid for this reception and I wasn't going anywhere. So we cut the cake by ourselves, basically, and did our first dance while half the room was still gathered around my sister, talking about babies. The next day, my mum called and asked why I seemed off at the reception. I told her she hijacked my wedding to celebrate my sister's pregnancy and didn't even give a toast to me and my husband. She said I was being selfish and that family shares joy together. I asked her if she thought the timing was appropriate, and she said my sister was just so excited she couldn't wait. I told her that's bullshit. My sister knew exactly what she was doing. She could have told the family literally any other day, but she chose my wedding. And my mum chose to make it about her instead of shutting it down. My mum got quiet, and then she said, "You know your sister has always been sensitive about these things. This is really important to her." I said I didn't care and hung up. I didn't talk to either of them for 2 months. My sister sent texts asking what her problem was, saying she thought I'd be happy for her. My mum sent long messages about how I was tearing the family apart over nothing. I blocked them both. Then I found out I was pregnant. We weren't trying, but we weren't preventing either. And honestly, after the wedding disaster, it felt like the universe was trying to make it up to me. My husband was thrilled. We told his family and a few close friends, but I specifically didn't tell my side because I knew what would happen. But my cousin, who I told, ended up mentioning it to her mum, and it got back to my mum within a week. My mum showed up at my house crying. She said she heard I was pregnant and didn't understand why I wouldn't tell her. I told her she made it very clear at my wedding whose pregnancy she actually cared about. She started saying I was being cruel and that she loves me and of course she cares. I asked her if she was planning to give a toast at my baby shower or if she'd wait for my sister to have another announcement to make. She didn't think that was funny. She left, and I thought that was the end of it. But then my extended family started getting weird with me. My uncle called and said he heard about my situation, and that he understood why I was lashing out. My other aunt sent this long text about infertility is hard, but I shouldn't take it out on my sister. I called my cousin and asked what the hell was going on. She told me my sister had been telling everyone that I'm struggling with infertility and that's why I cut her off after the wedding, that I was jealous of her pregnancy and having a breakdown about it. I was 6 months pregnant at this point, very obviously showing the lie was insane. I sent a group text to my entire extended family with a photo of my ultrasound and a due date and said, "Just so everyone knows, I'm not infertile, I'm pregnant and due in 3 months." My sister lied to you because I cut her off for announcing her pregnancy at my wedding reception, and because my mum gave a toast to her instead of to me and my husband. I'm done with them both. My phone blew up. My sister called me 17 times. My mum sent voice messages screaming about how I humiliated them. Half my family was apologising, the other half was asking what really happened at the wedding. My sister sent one text that said, "I'm your sister, you're supposed to forgive me." I replied, "You're not invited to my baby shower." She lost it. She called me from my mum's phone and they were both crying, saying I can't exclude her from family events. I told them they excluded me from my own wedding reception, so now we're even. I hung up and blocked my mum's number too. The baby shower is next month. My husband's family is hosting and it's going to be small and actually about us. My dad called and asked if he could come without my mum. I told him yes, but if she shows up, I'm calling the police for trespassing. He said he understood. My sister apparently had her baby 2 weeks ago. I know because my cousin sent me photos without asking if I wanted to see them. I deleted them. I don't care. She made her choice at my wedding and I made mine. But now my mum is sending emails saying I'm keeping her from both her grandchildren and that I'm destroying the family. My dad says she cries every day. Some of my relatives think I should just get over it for the sake of the family peace. Am I being too harsh? Yeah, there's not a single corner of the universe where you're the issue there in that situation. How entitled are some people? It's bloody ridiculous. And props to your husband for dealing with it in such a great manner. And yeah, I don't think I'd be inviting anyone to that baby shower either. Right, this next one's a bit different. This guy wrote a fake story for a writing class, and it accidentally cracked open a confession he never expected. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for making up a story for class that led my best friend to confess she's been lying to me? Hi, so I, 19 male, had written a short story for my creative writing class that my best friend, we'll call her S, 19 female, had read. I'm a gay man, and my professor pushed me to start writing things I haven't taken from my own life, which I have mostly done last semester. I had written a short little romance where, to summarise it, I had hooked up with my rabbi's son on the roof of a synagogue. I had thought it was pretty obvious that this story was fake and was just written for fun, but when S had read it, after I got my grade back for it, she confessed to me that she'd been lying to me for years. Prior to this, she always said how she was asexual and how understanding her boyfriend was to not push her to do anything and how kind and sweet he was. I'm still a virgin because I'm not in any rush to have any sexual experience and haven't met anyone I've considered dating. She admitted that she had been lying because she felt bad that I was still a virgin, so she pretended that she was, but after reading my story, realised I wasn't, so she decided to come clean about how much she actually loved sex. I don't care one way or the other. I'm not sure why she was lying to me about this, considering I was never hung up about being a virgin and never really ever discussed it with her. I told her that the story wasn't real, and she got really mad at me and told me I betrayed her trust, and that the story was the only reason she told me the truth. I feel so confused because her sex life couldn't matter less to me. We're purely platonic friends. I am hurt that she's been lying to me for years for seemingly no reason, but now she is angry with me, saying I manipulated her into telling her the truth. I feel lost and I'm unsure I can trust her again, but don't know if I'm overthinking it, and if I should have said something sooner about the story. Am I the asshole for letting her read the story, causing her to tell me the truth about her sex life without telling her it was made up prior? I mean, this one's not even am I the asshole tackle. It's just weird. It's like your friend just sounds like, have you ever met the sort of person where you meet them and no matter who they speak to, they change who they are to accommodate that person? It sounds extremely like that. Just telling lies so that you sync up with the people around you. It's weird. But yeah, let's move on from that one. This next one is it's a little bit heavier, so heads up. Am I the asshole for telling my wife my mother is correct and she needed to be a parent today and she fucked it up? I am waiting in the airport and I need to know if I fucked up or not. This week, my daughter, she is in middle school, lost a classmate. My daughter has not taken it well, and overall, this is her first experience of someone she knows dying. The whole class was excused from school today, and the funeral is happening right now. I unfortunately could not be there. I tried, but my PTO was denied, and we cannot lose this job. I flew out of Wednesday night, and I am coming back now. Our daughter is a mess. She was friends with the girl that passed away. The plan was for my wife, she is unemployed at the moment, to take her to the funeral/mass and just be there. My wife is more spiritual than the average person and hates all things with the dead. Funerals, viewings, and so on. This one is only a mass funeral, no viewing. She believes in ghosts and will avoid funerals like the plague. We discussed it on Wednesday, and she said she would take our kid and then go to the gravesite. I got a call from my daughter, sobbing that she wasn't going to the funeral. My wife was refusing to take her. When I got her to answer my call, she told me she can't do it and she is scared to go. I called up my mum and asked her to pick up my daughter and take her to the funeral. My mum left work and took her. They are there now. I got a call from my wife after, with her crying because my mum tore her new one. The gist was my mum called her a bad parent and that it is so fucked up that she couldn't take our kid to the funeral of her classmate. She wants me to make my mum apologise, and I told her my mum was right. That this was something that our daughter needed and she fucked it up. That she wasn't acting like a parent because of her fear of the dead. All she needed to do was stay through the mass. We got into a huge phone call argument and she is calling me a huge dick. My mum is apparently getting texts also, and I told her to not let our daughter know that we are fighting, and if she could look after her for the day. She agreed, of course. I mean, it's a rough situation all around here, isn't it? It's not it's not black and white to say anyone's in the wrong per se, but I mean, as a parent, your job is not to let your own feelings get in the way of what her daughter needed. So, yeah, I mean, we'll just leave that one there. Let's move on to this next one and lighten it up a bit because this next one is classic in-law overstepping, baby name drama, because that's never not a minefield. Okay, let's go. Am I the asshole for silently changing my son's name after my brother and sister-in-law gave my nephew the name too? My wife and I had our son 4 months ago. We had a name chosen early in her pregnancy. We kept that name to ourselves, but my sister-in-law, married to my brother, found it out when she was still pregnant with my nephew, almost 7 months old. She never said how, she just told us she loved the name. Congrats, and she couldn't wait to meet him. We assumed she snooped because she was not told. I even mentioned it to my brother, and he said that his wife does like to browse through people's things, like it was no biggie. Then when my nephew was born, they announced his name, and it was the name we chose. First, middle, and last name. My brother called right after sister-in-law posted the announcement, and he told me to keep quiet because his wife had a rough birth, and she didn't need drama. And he knew we might not like it, but she really wanted the name. Her reason? My brother and I have matching twin-like names, and sister-in-law wanted to connect our two boys by just giving them the same name, so they were each other's namesake. Wow. My wife and I talked it over, and we decided to pick a different name. But we'd pretend to keep the original name until there was zero risk of sister-in-law changing my nephew's name. 6 months after a birth is harder to make a change in our state. We only started telling people the true name last week. My parents and sisters said it made sense. Friends and my in-laws understood why we did it. My brother told me I upset his wife by silently doing this shit and taking away her choice to match the boys. He told me it was a dick move. I told him his wife using the full name we chose was a dick move. I asked him if he considered how much tougher it would be with both boys enrolled in the same schools with the very same name, not to mention banking, doctors, dental, all kinds of stuff. He told me plenty of people have the same names and it's not a big deal, and it's harder to mix shit up now, and we're just trying to gatekeep names. I think he's crazy, so does my wife. She said he clearly doesn't want sister-in-law to be mad, but am I the asshole for what I did? Like, are we weird for thinking of this kind of stuff? Yeah, it's not like snooping through someone's stuff to steal their kid's name is not wild behaviour. Or the fact that it would just be a logistical nightmare, as they referenced. Who even thinks of this shit? Wow. Okay. I've saved the best till last. This one is a big one. It's got multiple updates, so buckle in and get your snacks because it escalates more than once. Childhood best friend, a fiance, and a lie that spirals completely out of control. Let's get it. Am I the asshole for cutting contact with my childhood best friend because she demanded that I break up with my fiance? Hey everyone, I, 21 female, cut contact with one of my closest childhood friends, Mary, 21 female, a few weeks ago. While I was relieved she's out of my life, most of my family and mutual friends think I overreacted, and now I'm starting to second guess my decision. I'm going to put some rather irrelevant background information here. Mary and I practically grew up as sisters. We were neighbours, and our parents started arranging playdates for us before we could even talk or walk. From kindergarten to secondary school, we did everything together. If I wasn't at her house, she was at mine. I trusted her completely and never thought of her as anything other than my best friend. Things changed when Mary moved away for university. At first, I missed her, but over time, I noticed how much easier my life felt without her constant presence. I wasn't being criticised, guilt-tripped, or forced to justify my choices anymore. It became clear how much control she'd had over me. Mary had a way of dominating every aspect of my life. She'd dismiss my hobbies and pressure me to quit them, and if she didn't like one of my friends, I'd have to cut ties. You could call me a pushover, but when you grow up with someone like that, it's hard to see the manipulation for what it is. Things really came to a head when I met my now fiancé, Dave, 27 male. He's amazing, kind, supportive, and everything I've ever wanted in a partner. We clicked instantly, and he's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. But of course, Mary didn't approve. She immediately tried to plant the seeds of doubt, saying he was too old, he'd cheat, or he was only using me. Thankfully for once, I didn't listen to her, and I'm so glad I didn't. In December, Dave surprised me with a dream vacation, and during the trip, he proposed. Everything about it was perfect. He planned every little detail, and it was more magical than I could have ever imagined. I was over the moon and couldn't wait to share the news with everyone. Naturally, I told Mary, expecting at least some excitement, but instead, she downplayed the entire thing. She nitpicked the proposal, saying how she would have done it differently and what could have been better. It stung, but I brushed it off and reminded her that it was my proposal, not hers. A few weeks later, we met in person for the first time in months. That's when things completely fell apart. Out of nowhere, Mary told me I should break up with Dave. When I asked why, her reasoning had nothing to do with me. Instead, she compared him to her boyfriend, Julian, 22 male, saying things like, Dave makes more money than Julian, and Dave can give you everything while I have to work for what I want. It was clear she wasn't concerned about me, she was just jealous. She couldn't handle the fact that for once my life seemed better than hers. That was the breaking point for me. I told her to leave my house, and afterward I sent her a long message explaining how hurt and how disappointed I was. I told her that her behaviour was unacceptable and that I didn't want her to contact me again. Since then, it feels like she's told everyone in our social circle. Mutual friends and even some family members have reached out, saying I was too harsh and should have handled things differently. They said, "That's just how Mary is. You've known her your whole life. She's always been in the spotlight and gotten what she wanted." Some even accused me of breaking her heart and told me it was wrong to choose my fiancé over a lifelong friend. Even my mum said she expected better of me, and that's what's making me question my decision. Did I overreact? Mary has been a huge part of my life for as long as I can remember. Sure, she has her flaws, but we've also shared countless good times and memories. Am I throwing away years of friendship over this? Should I try to fix things, or was cutting her off the right choice? For clarification, I don't know exactly what Mary told my friends and family since most of the messages I received were pretty vague. I also didn't ask my mum what Mary said had happened. I was too angry to have a calm conversation after my mum told me I was being dramatic, which led to me yelling at her. All I know is that Mary admitted to asking me to break up with my fiance, but I don't know if she explained why she wanted me to. Lastly, my parents raised Mary like a second daughter, and she's always incredibly kind in front of them. I guess that's why they didn't believe me. Maybe they're just in denial because it's easier for them to handle. I don't know. But I get it. Hearing something bad about someone you like for the first time can make you want to deny it. I just want to intervene and put my own thoughts here before I read the first update. And as it stands right now, I think she's perfectly in the right. At the end of the day, she's controlling your life and it's your fiance. It's your choice. But yeah, back to the story. Update. Quick sum up, because the update is quite long. I visited my parents today and found out that Mary told them that Dave was cheating on me. My dad ended up believing me, but my mum is still on the fence and unsure of who to believe. We visited my parents around noon today, talked about everything, and tried to understand what had happened exactly. Turns out, Mary really was telling a made up story while sprinkling some truth here and there. Apparently, she told people, or at least my parents, that Dave was cheating on me with a co worker of his, which is why she told me to break up with him. She said that this affair had been going on for at least 4 months, and that she knows about it because she'd seen them together at a cafe in a different city a few months ago. Let's assume this would be true. Why didn't she inform me or my parents sooner? Like, imagine your best friend's back then boyfriend is cheating on her and you know about it. Wouldn't you tell her right away? This is also why I can't understand why my parents, especially my mum, would believe her in the first place. According to her story, I got incredibly mad, kicked her out, and haven't spoken to her since. Now, some of it is true, as you should know from my original post. For one, her telling me to break up with my fiance, as well as me kicking her out and cutting contact. However, the whole story about Dave cheating on me is something I've heard about for the first time today. Plus, it's completely made up. Just to remind you, she told me to break up with him because Dave's a better boyfriend than Julian, her boyfriend. By the way, I also feel so sorry for him. I can't imagine how much she must push him around. My mum said that she didn't believe Dave was cheating on me, but was disappointed in me for how I handled the situation, especially since I couldn't have known if Mary wasn't telling the truth. She thought that cutting off my best friend for being concerned about me was too harsh and that we should have talked it out. I've also assumed that she's scared to lose long-time friends when I cut contact with Mary, which also turned out to be true. Mary told her mother what happened, who just so happened to be best friends with my mother, and according to my dad, Mary's mother is mad at me for treating her daughter badly and accused my mum of not raising me right, so there's that as well. After my mum explained what Mary had told her, I went on to tell her what really went down. The jealousy, the manipulation, the lies, all of it. Basically, the things I've said in my original post, plus much more. She didn't believe me at first and said that I was blowing it all out of proportion, that Mary had good intentions but simply didn't know how to communicate them well. I showed her some text messages between Mary and me, told her about past incidents, and my fiance tried to back me up as best as he could since my mum wasn't listening at all and kept defending Mary. To say that I dug deep and told my parents about all sorts of things is an understatement. I even went as far as telling them about a sex incident, so yeah, I didn't leave out any details. My dad believed me from the get go, but my mum kept going back to how great of a person Mary is and how she just wants the best for me. She also kept saying how I've never had an issue with Mary in the past. Not true. and that is now creating unnecessary drama because of a misunderstanding. Maybe I'm creating unnecessary drama, maybe not. In my opinion, it's necessary though. I've let her do whatever she wanted for far too long. At some point, my dad simply told her to shut up and to stop making excuses for Mary, so at least I have one parent on my side. My dad's always been a very non confrontational person and never really stood his ground, especially when it came to my mum. But I found out that he thought that Mary didn't have good influence on me growing up. He apparently also told my mum that he wanted to limit the contact between Mary and me when we were younger, but my mum didn't see his point and let our friendship continue. So basically, this whole issue could have been avoided if my mum would have put her friendship with Mary's mother aside for her own family. Great! In the end, my mum said that she'd speak to Mary and ask if what I've said is true, which honestly pissed me off. After everything I've told her, she still wants to crawl to Mary because apparently what her actual daughter says isn't good enough. She tried to justify it since Mary is her daughter too, and it's unfair to just hear out my side of the story. Alright, but you already had a heartfelt conversation with Mary in which she was lying to you completely. After she said all that, we started a screaming match. I know, not healthy, but it honestly felt so damn good to just let it all out. To say that I cried heavily out of frustration after talking to my mum is an understatement, and I'm so glad that my fiance was with me because I sure as hell wouldn't have been able to drive home safely. But on a good note, I got ice cream and we watched my favourite show when we arrived back home, which made things better, lol. I've not told my mum that I'm considering not inviting her to my wedding. We're not planning to get married until next year anyway, so there's still enough time for her to make up her mind about who she'd rather believe. I don't want to create too big of a rift between me and her. As for mutual friends who took Mary's side, I've decided not to respond to them. I'm not sure if Mary told them the same story that she told my parents, but I honestly don't care. I don't want to see Mary ever again, or at least not in the foreseeable future, and mutual friends would make that a whole lot harder than it needs to be. Besides, they're not my only friends or close friends of mine. Dave's also okay with me not running after them to clear his name. If this whole situation should leave this friend group and turn public, I'm going to contact them. But right now, we don't see a point in dealing with Mary's minions. That's something someone called these friends in the comments below my original post. Loved it. Right now, I'm just hoping that Mary messes up her story somehow and that my mum is going to see her for who she is, really. While she's been acting absolutely disgusting towards me and basically chooses Mary over me in this situation, I think that I can look past this. It's my mum, after all. Cutting off friends is one thing, but to cut off close family, that's a whole different story, and I'll try to mend things the best I can. If she's going to stay loyal to Mary, I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's not something I have to think about right now. Update 2. I just want to say this in advance. I don't know if my dad was telling the full truth. I do believe him, but he might have exaggerated or left things out. It's entirely possible that he lied to a certain extent. I personally don't think that, but then again, most of the things he told me yesterday I've heard about for the first time, and they make him seem incredibly innocent. Maybe he was lying. I don't know. This whole situation just makes me question who I can trust in general. So we had dinner with my dad last night, and it went pretty well overall. We mainly talked about my mum and Mary. Apparently my mum had always been concerned about what others thought about her, but when she met Mary's mother, it reached a whole new level. Mary's mother often criticised my mum for all sorts of things. Her parenting style, her clothes, her house, you name it. Whenever it was something that my mum could change, she changed it. Immediately. To appease Mary's mother. That's also why I was put into dance classes when I was younger, because Mary's mother signed Mary up for dance classes, one of many examples. So yeah, as most comments suggested, she's being pushed around by Mary's mum. Is she a narcissist? I don't know, I'm not a psychologist. One thing to know about Mary's family is that they do a damn good job at appearing perfect. Happy family, nice jobs, nice house, etc. I guess my mum bought their persona and tried to copy it. I'm not going to trash talk the whole family here, but let's just say that they have just as many flaws as any other family. Also, my mum was apparently talking shit about me to my dad, comparing me to Mary in basically every way, and she even said multiple times that she wished Mary was her real daughter. She also believes that I took away her chance to live her dream life. Fun fact, but according to my dad, my mum's apparently huge on family. She always wanted to have at least 4 children. Ironic, I know. She had a pretty traumatic birth experience with me, and doctors told her that she shouldn't try for children again. Yeah, apparently she's blaming me for that. She then hoped that she'd get to live her dream through me, basically that I have a lot of children. Bit of TMI right here, but I've mentioned it in the comments a few times already, so whatever. I can't get pregnant, like at all, which means she, luckily, won't get any grandchildren from me. I guess she sticks so close to Mary and Mary's mother because she hopes to be a grandma to Mary's potential children. That's honestly so creepy and messed up in my opinion, but well, we're talking about my mum here. I also feel the need to clarify that I didn't know any of that. My mum never said anything negative about me to my face. Sure, there were some comparisons here and there, but nothing major or something that had an impact on me. It's always been just general stuff that parents tend to do, comparing grades, behaviour, skills, etc. She's also never directly blamed me for her inability to have any more children and never said anything bad about me not being able to conceive. This is all just stuff she apparently said behind my back. She's also been pretty alright to me. She most definitely wasn't the best mum ever, but she wasn't horrible either. Just a person who, in my opinion, shouldn't have had a child in the first place. My dad also admitted that he'd considered divorcing her a few times, but never went through with it because he was scared that my mum would get primary custody. He's currently considering it again, so let's see how that goes. As for why he never stood up to my mum, he genuinely didn't have a reason for it. He knew that my mum's never said anything like the things about above to my face, so he didn't think that he should tell me, at least not until I moved out. He didn't engage in these types of conversations with my mum and kept telling her to stop every time, which caused a lot of fighting between them. I knew that their marriage was messed up, but I always thought this had different reasons. Also, my mum reached out to my mother-in-law and complained about Dave, how he changed me and stuff, referring to me cutting off Mary and choosing my fiancé over my best friend. My mother-in-law, who's an absolute angel by the way, simply asked her why she's discussing this with her, since Dave and I are adults. There's no need to contact her for it. My mum also told her that Mary said that Dave is cheating on me. She then simply told my mum, "Sounds like Mary's projecting," and hung up. I'm honestly so pissed that my mum tried to involve her in this situation, and I can't help but wonder if she tried to create conflict between my mother-in-law and my fiancé. Maybe she genuinely believes Mary and wanted to warn my mother-in-law, but I guess that would be wishful thinking. For some background, my mother-in-law was a single mum because her ex-boyfriend, Dave's father, cheated on her shortly after giving birth. As you might be able to imagine, she hates cheaters with a burning passion, and my mum obviously knew that. So yeah, I guess my mum talked to Mary, who doubled down, and my mum decided to believe her. I was expecting that this would happen, but honestly, I'm really disappointed. I'm not even sad, angry, or anything, just absolutely disappointed and confused. I'm currently considering sending her one last text before cutting her out for now, but I don't know if I should give her the pleasure of receiving an explanation. I'm still on the fence about cutting ties with her in general, mainly for my dad's sake. Their marriage is rocky enough already, and although he's considering divorcing her, I'm not sure if he'll actually go through with it. Keeping in contact with one parent while not talking to the other must put a whole lot of stress on the parent you're still in touch with, and I quite honestly don't want to worsen my dad's home life any further. It's so crazy how I've lost so many people who I considered important to me in such a short amount of time. This whole situation also made me question other people, like my dad. A whole lot. There were so many people in my life throughout all these years, and nobody said anything. Why didn't my grandparents step in, or my aunt, or family friends? I can't imagine that they don't know about any of it. But then again, I didn't either. I also have no idea why I never noticed that my mum held some sort of resentment towards me. Shouldn't I have noticed? I mean, I've been living with her under one roof for 18 years, yet I never noticed or imagined that she actually doesn't like me. Also, yes, Reddit became my new diary. Lol. Update 3. This is just going to be a small update since not much happened, but I still want to share this because I think it's quite ironic. It's also pretty late at night and I'm staying at a hotel right now, so sorry if some stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I had a gig tonight, and Mary's ex-boyfriend, Julian, showed up after the show. Yes, ex-boyfriend. He came up to me and told me that he broke up with her this morning. He then got free drinks for the rest of the night, and we had an amazing time at the after party. I've already mentioned this in the comments, but I told mutual friends who asked, not those who attacked me, what really went down between Mary and me. I guess they've told other mutual friends, and it got around to Julian. He asked her if my story was true, and Mary apparently got really defensive. After some back and forth, she called him an option that she's keeping around until Dave's single or she finds someone better. He dumped her right there and then. Mary must have spiraled after that, because she texted me over a new Instagram account and said that I'd ruined her life. I don't believe in karma, but this honestly made my day. Also, I've called my grandparents and they didn't know how my mum really felt about me, which honestly puts my mind at ease a bit. At least I wasn't the only one being oblivious. I guess she did a really good job at hiding her true sentiments. For my parents, I decided to go LC with my mum and keep in touch with my dad. He's not going to divorce her anytime soon for several reasons. I'm also still on the fence on whether to cut ties with my mum completely or not. While many people in the comments mentioned that they're not in contact with their families anymore, I don't feel ready for that yet. I want to have a conversation with my mum first, just so that I can hear what I've been told by my dad straight from her. But right now, I don't want to have that conversation. So yeah, I'm basically keeping her around for now. Update 4. I don't really know how to start this one. So yeah, Mary hasn't tried to contact me again, but she started sending videos of her having fun with herself to Dave. It's been 3 so far, and they've all been sent through different burner accounts. He didn't respond to any of them, and we don't really know what we should do about it. He gets sent videos like that quite often, but it's usually just 1 video per person, not 3 in a row, sent by the same one, which makes them easier to ignore/block. So far, he's obviously deleted all videos she's sent him and blocked her on every account through which she tried to contact him. He hopes that if he's not going to respond, that she'll stop soon, and well, I hope so too. It's honestly getting annoying hearing my ex best friend moan my fiance's name. I also met up with my mum today. She texted me yesterday and asked me to meet up. She knows that Julian and Mary broke up and also knows the reason for it. I don't know how she's gotten the story. It apparently was a weird mismatch of Julian, Mary, and Mary's mum. My mum was pretty distraught when she told me this, and all of it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Mary told her this, Julian told her that, and so on. She ended up believing Julian over Mary for whatever reason. Maybe it was because last time I met up with my mum, I told her that Mary's interested in Dave, and that obviously matches Julian's story. I have no idea. I also don't know why Julian told her. I've asked him to talk to my mum after some people suggested it in the comments, but he seemed pretty apprehensive. I guess he ended up telling her anyway. Overall, she was very apologetic for not believing me and siding with Mary. She also asked me if Mary tried anything with Dave so far, and I told her about the videos. She's really mad at Mary and has blocked her number for now, and also wants to limit contact with Mary's mother, as far as I know, but doesn't really know how to go about it yet. They share a lot of hobbies and are basically in all the same clubs, books, sports, and so on. Typical late 50s mum stuff, basically. So, yeah, I guess everything's fine. I'm still going to keep my distance from her, but she seemed very genuine about wanting to make things right. We're on a better path now. Still not great, but we're getting there. Wow, what a clusterfuck. I, her mother was the worst too, bending over backwards to side with Mary instead of her own kid. And then the reasoning after that was just bullshit too. But yeah, that ending, I did not expect the ex-boyfriend twist. But it all comes full circle in the end. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed that story. Let me know in the comments which one you liked the most, and make sure to like the video if you stayed to the end. Thank you, and goodbye.